All right, Shalom Israel. Y'all Bashem Yahushua Ragathal. Y'all Shema Shalom Bashem Yahushua. To all the sisters. It's the I.S.U.P.K. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, on the commanding GEN.YAHANNA. We've been teaching this Bible since 1969. Blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians. This Bible belongs to us. All right, it's our heritage, it's our culture. We got the Passover coming up. Speaking of our culture, we got the Passover coming up. Passover is an incredible day, an incredible event. In this case, it's going to be quite a few days where this event is going on. And that event is brotherhood, man. The Lord showed us so much mercy by allowing us to come out of Egypt together as brothers, as sisters, one body, one flesh. All right, one spirit, one hope of our calling, that we can get the kingdom, man. We celebrate that he murdered, and not murdered, but killed the firstborn of everything in Egypt. Firstborn fly, firstborn cow, firstborn of everything in Egypt. All right, the mice died, the roaches died. All right. So with that being said, let's go a little bit into brotherhood. All right, I want to go into some brotherhood. Give me 1 John 4:20, because that's the spirit of the Passover. All right. As y'all know, everybody should have a precept book. And I.S.U.P.K. We stand on having a precept book. That's one of our traditions that we keep. You can purchase one from, I believe you can purchase a digital one from Captain Kapaz for I think like $20 donation or something like that. Go ahead, sis.
That's what I was just going to ask you. How can I go about getting one? Who's the one that I give the money to
I believe the donation. I believe Captain Kapaz told me the donation would go to the school, and you just show proof that you gave the donation. Okay. And you get the precept book. Well, I would take like a picture of it or something like that, somewhere where you can show like the proof. I'm not sure if you have the Zelle. You can use Zelle, and just show like a receipt or whatever. I'm not sure how Zelle works. I don't have Zelle. But you give your donation, either take a picture, send it to Captain Kapaz, or hey Cap, if you watching this, you can post the link. Or matter of fact, you can give it Captain Ahmad. Maybe Captain Ahmad, he can help you with it. Since he's here in Philly, but Captain Kapaz has it. So you talk with Captain Ahmad, see whatever you gotta do to show the proof that you gave your donation, and get the text that to Captain Kapaz. I believe he'll send you the precept book.
How much Salaki?
Go ahead. I thought it was $20 donation. I thought that's how much it was. It was like cheap, you know what I mean? So I believe it was like a $20 donation. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the digital one is like a $20 donation, and they'll send it to your phone, so you'll have it all in your phone. And
What about the manual, the book?
I'm not sure if he's still doing the manual. I know at first he was. I'm not sure if he's still doing the books, because I believe like the shipping or something, maybe it might take too long, or might just be more convenient just to get it on the phone, and then you can write them down and put them in your own book. You know what I mean? So it might be better that way. Plus, brothers like to do that anyway and have them in their own, because we already got precept books, and every brother in school pretty much, or sister, has their own like little precept book that you would keep.
That's why I wanted to get a precept book. I'm about to get the precept book, but I can if I want to. Right,
yeah. There's nothing wrong with that, having all your precepts, can study to show thyself approved. All right. Can I get 1 Thessalonians 5:21? Just to pull the scripture. That's prove all things. We're going to get that scripture. But I want to go into brotherhood because we big on brotherhood, man. I.S.U.P.K. is big on brotherhood. The Bible is brotherhood. The Bible is brotherhood. That's what this whole thing is about. This whole thing is about brotherhood, man. What to do with your brothers, what not to do with them. You know what I mean? How to raise our children, the whole 9 yards, man. Teach your children these laws. Man, listen, the kids at the Passover, oh my God. Yeladim, Banya, all right? Man, they enjoy themselves. Like sometimes you glance over and look at them and remember what it's like to be an innocent child. You know what I mean? And that's amazing in the I.S.U.P.K, man. That is amazing in the I.S.U.P.K that our children can be innocent. Let me know when you got it. 1 Thessalonians 5:21. Whoever get it, y'all can read it.
Oh God.
I already quoted it. Go ahead.
This is the book of 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 21.
Go ahead.
Prove all things.
Do what?
Prove all things.
The Bible says, prove all things. That's what the Bible says. The Lord said to prove all things. Go ahead.
Oh God. Hold fast that which is good.
Hold fast to that which is good. And those precept books, they're excellent. They're excellent. It's all and brotherhood is excellent. Hold fast to that which is good. The sisterhood in the I.S.U.P.K is excellent. And it's good to go into this because we don't want to come to the Passover with the wrong spirit.
Right.
You don't want to fly all those miles, pay all that money, giving your donation to the school, and then get there and be in the absolute wrong spirit. I mean, that just defeats the purpose. Right. You should have stayed home. You know what I mean? Like you came there to show each other love, to show each other brotherhood and sisterhood. If you ain't never did nothing for nobody all damn year, you better come to the Passover ready to do something for somebody. I don't give a damn what it is. Open the door, say hello. If you ain't speak to nobody, say shalom. You ignore everybody all year long outside the truth. When you get to the Passover, speak to everybody. You know what I mean? Show some love, show some brotherhood, some sisterhood, which in the UPK, I don't have to say that to us. We all understand. But to the brothers and sisters that may be new coming in, or this your first time even attending the Passover, you don't really know how it's going to go. Just be in the spirit of brotherhood. Be in the spirit of sisterhood. All right? The Bible say to prove all things. Give me the precept where it said, you shall know that they my disciples. It's like the 12th chapter, I believe. I forget. You shall know you my disciples. It might be Mark 12:31, if I'm not mistaken. All right. But we're going to go into a few more scriptures. But it says, prove all things. That's what our precept books help us to do. To prove all the goddamn things that we ever learned. All right. With that being said, give me Mark 12:31. That might not be the precept, but still give me Mark 12:31 on the topic of brotherhood.
This book, Mark 12, verse 31. And the second is like, namely this: thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Give me the first one. Go up 2 verses.
Come down. Verse 29. And Jesus answered him, the first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord.
Mm-hmm. Hear, O Israel, Shema Yahshua, Yahweh Elohayim Yahweh Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. That's the first commandment. Serve the Lord with all your mind, all your heart. Meaning with your mind and your heart is the same thing. All your mind, all your heart, all your thoughts. You know what I mean? With all thy soul, with your body. All right? So serve the Most High. He's one God. It ain't many gods. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 30. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart.
And you shall love the Lord thy God with all your heart. Go ahead.
And with all thy soul.
All thy soul. We just explained that. Go ahead.
And with all thy mind.
And with all your mind, the same thing, your thoughts. Your thoughts, what's in your mind. You got to serve the Lord here first. Got to be in your inward parts. Right. Got to serve him here. Because it don't matter to dress nice.
Right.
It don't matter to have riches. And then when it comes down to the pork on the fork, you don't know what to do.
Right.
It don't matter to have a nice dress, have a superb garment, excellent garment, get all strong and be diesel, which is nothing wrong with that. But get all strong and be diesel and nice garments and get all beautiful, nice dress. pay all that money, get to the Passover, and be the worst human being on the planet. It's pointless. There's no need to come. You can stay home. The mirror loves you. Talk to the mirror. I mean, dang, there's no need for you to be here with me, insulting me, and I'm insulting you. Or imagine you come to the Passover, you pay all that money, you got your nice dress on, your nice garment on, you speaking shalom to everybody, and then somebody wrong you at the Passover. Oh my God. Wouldn't that be the most terrible thing? Wouldn't that be the wrong spirit? Like you did all of that, ruin your damn credit score, I was telling someone, ruin your goddamn credit score, you know what I mean? Spend all your money and then get there and then somebody wrong. God damn, that is ridiculous. That's the wrong spirit to be in. Alright? That's not the spirit we want to be in. You don't want to do that, man. You don't want to hurt somebody. Hurt not these little ones. Can somebody give me that precept? Matter of fact, Isaiah, give me John 15 and 12. And I'll find a precept real quick. All right? You don't want to hurt none of these little ones, man. That's not what we want to do. You want to come to the Passover and be in the right spirit. Like, Bob, you can find me that scripture whenever you get a chance. Let me see. What? Oh, yeah. The water, Diana, I appreciate it.
Hurt not the little one, sir.
I mean, I am the Diana. Yeah, hurt not these little ones. Can you give me John 15 and 12? But the spirit of the Passover, man, is that we suffered together. We came out of Egypt together. Day of Atonement, we suffered together because we came out of Egypt together. We got the kingdom of heaven together. We got our land together. We came out of our land to go into Egypt together. 70 souls, man. We listen, I mean, I would hate for the Lord to give us something so special and we throw it in the trash again. We already did it once. And I mean, that once is like a million damn times already. But we already did that once. And now we got a new chance we got a new person. We have a new spirit. We can't go back and do the same thing. Officer Knox said, you got like you should be better every second than you was before the last second. I jammed that all the way up. He said it smoothly on Facebook. But every second should be better than the last one. You should be a new person, better, you know what I mean? Every second you should be improving. You should not have to suffer yourself to be terrible. Come to the Passover in the right spirit. Go ahead, Isaiah.
John chapter 15, verse 12. I have yet many things to say unto you, but ye cannot bear them now.
Salaki, it's just John 15 and 12, not 1 John, Salaki. Might have just been John 15 and 12. Salaki, it was John 15 and 12, not 1 John. Salaki.
Yeah, this is John.
All right, then it might have been 1 John. Salaki. Damn, I just added 2. I added 1 John 15 and 12. All right. Shalom, y'all, Shabbat. But like I was saying, come in the right spirit. Come in the right spirit, man. Don't come in the wrong spirit. And you know what I mean? Because imagine if everybody enjoying themselves and you just miserable, depressed, one cloud over you with rain. Don't be that person. If you feel that way, then you might want to sit in the hotel room, you know what I mean, until the rain stops. Or you might want to use that damn smartphone you got and call somebody smarter than you. That's in a better spirit. That on top of them is sunny skies and birds and all that. So they can come and enjoy some of that with you. You know what I mean? Extend brotherhood or sisterhood to you. And bring you out of that sorrow, depressed state. Go ahead, Isaiah.
1 John chapter 5, verse 12.
15 and 12. 1 John 15 and 12. So let me just get it for you to make sure. All right. But yeah, you don't want to come there like that. Salwana, did you have your hand up? Yeah, it's John 15 and 12. John chapter 15, verse 12. I'll take one. All right. Go ahead.
John chapter 15, verse 12. This is my commandment.
Here we go. This is my commandment. Go ahead.
That ye love one another.
That ye love one another. That's the commandment from the Most High, man. That we love one another. That's the one thing that blacks and Hispanics we struggle with this.
Right.
We struggle with this. This one is the, how they say it, the straw that broke the camel's back. That loving one another, that one is all deals is off, all bets is off. I'm gonna kill this nigga. That's a lie. That's how we act. All bets is off. I'm gonna pull out her hair, drag her down the steps, beat her till one of her breasts pop out. Like this one is the deal breaker. Loving each other is the deal breaker.
Right.
And listen, you can get rich together, or you can die trying. But once y'all have a disagreement, all bets is off. In every movie, they show you the same damn thing. They scheming, they get the job done. The other one shoot the other one, take his bag.
Right.
So like I do watch the black ghetto gangster movies off Amazon. You know, I like those. You know what I mean? It feels personal. Like I'm watching. Like it's sort of like I'm in the kingdom because I get to watch a black made movie, even though the spirit of it is Esau. But I get to watch a black and Hispanic owned movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
But anyway, the point is that you don't want to be like that. You don't want to be somebody who can't love somebody else. Especially not for a few days. You can't go a week. I mean, goddamn. I mean, you shouldn't have to fake being, loving these brothers and sisters in here. You shouldn't have to fake that. That shouldn't be something that people, how you say, faking the funk. There shouldn't be none of that at the Passover. You shouldn't have to fake it, man. On this day, it's like, brother, whatever happened is gone.
Right.
At least for these couple days.
Right.
I mean, maybe we can sip and talk about it. Maybe we should talk about it. And if we don't agree right now, then we should say, brother, look, maybe we just really need counsel about this. But let's finish drinking at least first. Dang. And then we can, because we know the council's coming. Let's at least, you know what I mean? We look, ain't nobody wrong right now. I'm right, you right. That's, you know what I mean? Till the council come. Let's at least drink, sister, you right, and sister, I'm right. So let's finish partying. And then when the council comes, we'll see who's right or wrong.
Right.
Or let's both be wrong today. How about I'm wrong and you wrong? Let's drink to being wrong. God damn. It's better days to come. It'll come on in a council phone call. So one of us getting checked, or both of us getting checked severely. But don't come to the Passover without the spirit of brotherhood or sisterhood. Give me 1 John 3 and 15. I got this in the book. I'm not sure if I meant to put this in there or not. We'll find out. 1 John 3 and 15. And then Abad, did you give me the little one scripture? Did you ever find it?
This one hanging around the neck.
What you mean?
If they want to offend these little ones.
Yeah.
That's
That one right there. That's a perfect one. Because the general said, tell you something. The general spoke about this right here. Pretty much.
I got it, sir.
Let me know when you go ahead, Abad. I'm about to say, let me know when you got it. But you got it. We're gonna let Abad read first. Not unless you had a question.
No, I'm saying 1 John.
3 and 15.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna let you go first, Abad.
Okay. This book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 6. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones, which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea.
Put a rope around your neck, tie it to a gigantic millstone that they used to grind mill back in the day. Talking about big as this table, and throw it into the ocean. You know what's gonna happen. It's gonna snap your neck. You're gonna die from that. If you don't die from that, you're gonna die when you hit the bottom of the ocean. You can't get back up. So it's better that you kill yourself than to offend one of these little ones at the Passover or any time in the school, but damn, especially not at the Passover. Don't come to the Passover with Satan in your backpack. With Satan in your luggage. Allah from y'all. Rock. Y'all watching y'all shot rocket thigh.
Wrap it up. All right, Austin. Wafian. Let's get it on. I'll take your questions in the room. Any questions in the room, please? We'll go. So, please.
Spotty, sir, can you break down 1 Corinthians 7:14 through 15?
No problem. Go ahead and pull it up.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, verse 14. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband.
Let's go. What verse are we in? Go up to 12.
Verse 12. But to the rest speak I, not the Lord. If any brother hath a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away.
But to the rest speak I, not the Lord. Meaning Paul is saying that this, I'm not getting this from the law, but this is an order that I'm giving you. It's not from the law, but it's an order I'm giving you, similar to many orders that we follow in the UPK, like wearing all black when you're a trooper, like 1,000 other things that the man of God who is in charge of this school, Commanding General Yohanna, has the right to give us because God gave him the authority over the school. But then there are things that are the commandments of God, which it doesn't matter whether you're in the school or not, you have to keep them. It doesn't matter whether you're a priest or not, you have to do them. You understand? Okay, read it one more time.
But to the rest speak I, not the Lord.
You get that? But to the rest speak I, not the Lord. Go ahead.
If any brother have a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away.
If any man has a wife and she be pleased to dwell with him, don't leave her. Stay with her. Stay with that woman. Come on.
When they say believeth, are they talking about in the truth?
Absolutely. Why? Because in the law, you could put a woman away. You familiar with that precept, correct? In the law, we had the bill of divorce. You would give her a bill of divorce, and you could leave her. Right? So that's what the law says. But Christ said, in the beginning it was not so. For two, he saith, shall be one. So Christ, knowing that although Moses gave us a bill of divorce because of the hardness of our hearts, Christ knew that in the beginning, the Most High didn't want it like that. Do you understand? And that's why Paul is saying, not in the law, but I'm telling you. I know the law says you can leave her. I know that. But I'm telling you, don't leave her. You get my point? Continue.
Verse 13. And the woman which hath an husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him.
Same exact thing. And the law says you can divorce her. Sure, no problem. Right? Why? Because Moses knew you would kill each other if he didn't let you leave each other. He knew you would, I appreciate it, warrior. He knew you would slaughter one another in that house. He knew if you were forced to stay with somebody that you didn't want to stay with, you would kill them because you can't do anything you don't want to do. That is your problem in life. Anything you don't want to do, you can't do it. You don't like this job, so what do? You throw a table over at the job and throw hot chicken grease on somebody and leave the job. Or you fight your supervisor on your job. Or you'll do something to get fired from that job because you're sick of that job. Because you can't do things that you don't want to do. Anywhere you are and something happens and you don't like it, you destroy the event. You ruin the entire thing because your problem is doing anything that you don't want to do. Well, now you have this woman who you're angry at. So now, of course, it's time to leave her. Right now you have this man that you're angry with. So, of course, it's time to leave him because you can't do anything that you don't want to do. Do you understand? But Paul is telling you, you better stay together. If she's in the world and you can't stand her, you're still going to stay with her. Do you understand? Continue.
Verse 14. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife.
For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife. What does that mean? Is this to your question also? Right here? For the unbelieving husband is sanctified. What does sanctified mean? Anyone? Up front?
It needs to be cleared, sir.
Give him a hand. Be cleansed. Right? So you're in the truth, your wife is in the world. The Lord will cleanse her because she's married to you. And this is why. Continue.
And the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean.
Because, of course, the law says that the children of sinners must pay for what their parents have done. That's in the law. I shall return it upon the second and the third generation of them that hate me. So now, if the Lord didn't clean your wife, the children would pay for what she has done. But in this case, because she's married to you, she will not have to pay, which means her children don't have to pay. All right, continue.
But now are they holy?
But now are who holy? The children. Now the children are holy. They're separate. Continue.
Verse 15. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart.
But here you go. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. So in essence, you are not going to break up with a woman that's in the world, that hates the truth, that hates Commanding General Yohanna. You're not going to break up with her. You're going to give her the bare minimum of what a husband has to give a wife. You'll find a way to fantasize about other women and go in there and tear that tail up sometime. Just think about other women. That's all. Think about a woman who's in the truth and clean and beautiful and wonderful and is unmarried, and fantasize about her when you have to lay down with that dragon who hates the Lord and hates the school. And you'll get through it. You'll get through it, and of course you can have other wives to pour all of your love and kindness into. So you'll find a way to dwell with this woman and to be with her, even though she's not in the truth. But if she leaves you, lock the door behind her. Do you understand? If she leaves you, let her go. What does let her go mean? Meaning don't try to win her back. Don't try to convince her to stay. Don't try to boo love her and sweet talk her. And, they used to send those slow songs to her back in the day. I don't do that no more. You're trying to get a girl back that left you. What are you doing if you're trying to get a woman back that left you? You don't send her the slow songs anymore. I guess you just inboxed her constantly, right? Okay. I guess you just inboxed her. Baby, please, come on now. Come on, don't do this. We got kids together. Damn that. Damn everything. If she leaves you, let her go. Don't try to convince her to stay. You understand? Go ahead.
A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases.
A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases. So the same thing. If you're a woman in the truth and you have a husband who loves drugs and threesomes and whores and pork and shrimp and hates you, stay with that brother. Don't leave him. You find a way to give him the bare minimum of what you can give him as a wife. But if that man leaves you, do not run after him. Let him go, because the bondage of marriage is over if an unbelieving husband leaves his wife in the truth. The marriage is over. She's single. Everybody understands. She's going to be treated single in here. And I hope you remember that. If I was you, I'd stay with her. I pray you understand. Next.
You want to finish, sir?
Unless I'm done.
It says, but God hath called us to peace.
But God has called us to peace. What is the opposite of peace? Trying to fight to get someone to stay with you who does not want to be with you. Do you understand? That's the opposite of peace. Which is why Paul is saying, listen, man, don't leave them if they want to stay. Because it's not peace to try to push somebody out your life who wants to be with you. You're together already. Stay together. And it's also not peace to try to keep someone in your life who doesn't want to be in your life. It's not peaceful, man. The Lord wants us to have peace. If she wants to stay, man, let her stay, man. Relax. It's all right. If she wants to go, let her go. Relax. It's all right. Next question.
Kalukan. This is from I.S.U.P.K. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua General. If I may, can I get a breakdown on 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verses 22 through 25, Baba Kashal?
No problem.
Wada, sir. And can this be used for a World War III precept?
No sweat.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty.
This is absolutely a Third World War precept. You can also put it with the for so-called four horsemen of the apocalypse. For the horseman that represents famine. All right, that's one of the spirits that will be running loose throughout this planet Earth as we get closer to the end, and we are close to the end right now. We're close to the coming of our King Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. He's on his way back, and everyone on the planet knows it. Everyone. The question is, what will they do about it? Some people won't fight to save their life, even in a terrible situation. Some people freeze at the point of terror. They freeze. They're stunned and they stand still instead of saving their life. There are other people that fight to live. You understand what I mean? Next. Was that it or no?
He wanted it down to 25, sir.
Okay.
He wanted, but it basically was asking us for a World War III precept.
Yes, this is a World War III precept, absolutely. If that's your question, that's your answer, all right? Anything else?
Next question is from Nick DeCott. Salakia, sir, how should I respond to someone outside the truth who I am going to for educational purposes, but they being Christian usually wants to pray before starting?
Going to for educational, so I'm assuming it's some type of job training or some type of school for slavery, but they want to pray before the thing. Okay, you should not do that. And America has freedom of religion. So many people who are Israelites don't realize that. If you're in the UPK, you are allowed to be in the UPK. It's not a crime to be in the UPK under command of General Yahanna. But so many of you, you feel forced to be Christian as if, you can't say, no, I'm not Christian. Or I don't want to pray. I would like you to teach me how to, do this mechanic work. Or to teach me how to file these papers. Or to do whatever job you're doing. Or to teach me how to be a lawyer. Or to teach me how to be a doctor. I don't want to hold hands and thank Jesus every time. So what would a Jewish person do if they came to learn that same trade? You think like that. What would a Muslim person do if they came to learn that same trade? Do what they would do. All right? Because Muslims and Jewish people feel like they have the right not to be Christian for some reason. But when you're in the UPK, you feel you must be Christian when, of course, you don't have to be because Muslims don't do it and Jewish people don't do it. Just tell the person you're a Jew. Tell them you're a Jew. Say, I'm a Jew. All right, I'm a Jew. You get that? I'm a kosher. I'm a Jew. I'm kosher. So can you go ahead and teach me how to type, please? And can we stop with the hallelujah talk? Anything else? Anything?
We have another question, sir.
Go ahead.
Zabak Hara. It's same precept, 2 questions about it. Breakdown of Zechariah chapter 1, verses 21 and verse 22. Is this talking about the 4th beast in Daniel, the 7th chapter? And the second question related to the same question.
Is this talking about the 4th beast in Daniel, the 2nd chapter? Go ahead.
7th chapter.
7th, Salakia. Go ahead.
Who was it? Zechariah chapter 1, verses 21 and 22.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 1, verse 21. Then said I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. But these are come to fray them, to cast out the horn of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it.
These are okay. I cannot recall this one. I'm gonna have to read it a little more. I'm gonna have to check with Commander General Yohanna with this one. I don't remember. It's not jogging my memory. Read a little more. Maybe it will.
Verse chapter, the book of Zechariah, chapter 2, verse 1. Keep going, sir.
This is Zechariah.
Come. If I may, sir,
Go ahead.
I can start at 17 if I may.
Go ahead.
Try and help. Zechariah chapter 1, verse 17. Cry yet saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts, my cities through prosperity shall be yet spread abroad, and the Lord shall yet comfort Zion and shall yet choose Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. Then lifted I up mine eyes and saw, behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he said, these are the horns which have scattered Judah and Israel and Jerusalem. And he shewed me the four carpenters. Then I said, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head.
And he wants to know if this is a precept for which one? For the 4 what? For the horns, the 10 horns? That precept or a different precept? You got it, officer in the back? He wants to know this is a precept for what?
Oh, is this talking about the 4th beast in Daniel, the 7th chapter?
Oh, the 4 beasts. Okay, I still can't recall hearing Commander General Yohanna say it. I can't remember. All right, if someone else has heard him say it, something like that, then you can answer, but I just can't recall enough. You have to check back with me after I go check with him, all right? I see what you're saying is 4 and 4, but I just can't directly remember the breakdown with this precept. All right? Just stand by. Anything else? In the back? I'm sorry. In the back?
I had a question about like psychology.
Right.
So like how could somebody tell so much about a person by like looking in their eyes? Or like tell different tricks about them or like what's on their mind?
What does looking in the eyes have to do with psychology?
I know I've read sometimes where you look like just about like how somebody looks, but like some type of look that they have in their eyes and like tell certain things about them.
I don't think that's psychology.
Go.
I mean, I hear a lot of people always say that, they use a false understanding of a precept in the New Testament usually. Usually that's from, witchcrafty people.
Go.
Look into my eyes. And all that nonsense. And I remember some fake Israelite groups used to get angry at us because we wore sunglasses. What was that? That was like 6 years ago or 7, I don't remember. Could have been 15 years ago. They was like, take them sunglasses off. I need to see into your eyes. You hide, y'all didn't even understand. So, okay, I mean, I hear people say that about the whole eye thing. I don't know what the hell that even is. But it's not in recognized psychology. Psychology has nothing to do with looking into your eyes. Right? Psychology looks into your behavior. And behavior is the only way you can know anybody from what they say and what they do. You can stare in their eyes all the damn one, but while you're staring in their eyes, if they're stealing your watch, then that's probably a thief. Right. You get the point? All right. If you want to understand people, understand what they say and what they do. What someone does is an indicator of what they've been through in life, of their experience. If a woman is a stripper and a prostitute and a whore and promiscuous, there are things about her that you could assume, and you will be right more occasions than you're not. And she might think, oh, you read my mind. No, you're a stripper and a prostitute and a drug addict. And this behavior is indicative of someone who was molested as a child. And there are many things that, a person's behavior that will simply scream out to you what they've done in the past, right? Many things that people say will scream to you what has happened to them in the past, and what other people have said to them. There are some people that speak terribly to their children. They say, you little mother effer, come over here, mother effer, nigger. And some of you thought your name was nigger. Your mother called you nigger so much, and mother effer so much, and different terrible curse words, and would talk about sex right in front of you, and talk about all kinds of things that scarred your mind. Then, of course, when you have a child, and then when I see you in the supermarket, come here, mother effer, I'm sick of your S. I'm tired of this S. I can't stand y'all anyway. I don't know why I even had y'all. I wish y'all go live with your father. You make me so effing. As I'm watching you talk, I know how someone talked to you. Do you understand? If you want to understand people, I will understand those two things because they say a lot. Right. Next.
Brother says, Shalom, Lord Christ, sir. Slaki, sir. Could homosexuality be a genetic disease for it is taught?
Homosexuality a genetic disease? If the people in your family molest you, sure. You're gonna wonder why. I've counseled families where like 3 people in the family are gay. I remember going like, did any of y'all think this was a coincidence? And they would say like, we thought it was a genetic disorder or a genetic trait. And then I say, were you molested? Yeah. Who molested you? Uncle Tony. Who molested you? Uncle Tony. Who molested you? Uncle Tony. Well, maybe it's not genetics. Maybe it's Uncle Tony. Maybe Uncle Tony lives in that back room at your grandma's house on disability, and he's molested everybody that comes over there for the summer. So maybe it's not just genetics. Maybe that's not the reason everybody that Will Smith got 2 gay kids. Maybe it's not genetics. You know what the odds are of everybody, all your kids being gay? I mean, the mathematics of that is ridiculous. And yet when it happens, people will go, hey, they were just born that way. I don't know. I might look at the people in the family as opposed to the genetics of the family. Everyone understands. No, homosexuality is not, something you pass through the genes at all. You know what can be passed through a family, which is what I'm describing? Demons. Demons absolutely are passed from father to son, from mother to daughter. They go back generations. Generations. A lot of you black people love to beat your kids, don't you? It's real black to get an extension cord or some type of iron cord, or give me the things they beat you with. Extension cords, come on. Switches. Say again? A brush. And you think it's black to beat your kids. You look at white people and you go, white people, they don't beat their kids enough. See, my family, my mother would get me in the bathtub, get you wet, and beat you. Has anyone ever heard of that before? Raise your hand if you've heard of that. See, that's pretty rough. That must be genetics. That 75% of the room has heard of getting in the bathtub, getting wet, and being beat with an extension cord. That's psychopathic. But to us, it's genetic. It's just what black people do. But then if I go back a few hundred years, I'll end up where? In the 1600s. And who will be being beat then? With a cord, with a long leather thing, something long and black. In the 1600s, tied to a tree, soaking wet. You beat your kids not because of genetics or because of black culture. You beat your kids like you do because white people beat black people during the time of slavery like that. We were beaten in slavery, and now beatings, merciless beatings, become part of black culture that you think is good. You think somehow it makes better kids. And I don't see that. When I drove here tonight, somebody was running with a gang of sneakers outside of Foot Locker, haul-assing up the block with sneakers. Them old referees running down there behind them. I think your kids are pretty terrible. How you raise your kids is working. I don't know if they just maybe they're not wet enough when you're slashing them with lashes all over their back and thighs. Maybe that's not the answer. Maybe there is stern discipline and physical discipline that you can give a child and should give a child. But maybe someone who's a psychopath can't administer it. I pray you understand. Come on.
So like how people got the notion that homosexuality is passed down from genes when it's just demons. Could that be the same concept when they say like diabetes runs in your family?
No, it's not the same concept. Okay. And you want to just shake off the magic of it. How do demons move through a family? Come on.
Wow, somebody teaching them for the actions.
Actions. Demons don't move through a family through magic. It's not like your mom has a demon and one day, oh, the demon jumped on you. That's not how it works. Your mother has a demon. She gets you soaking wet and beats you with an extension cord. Then you think she hates you. You grow up with this terrible low self-esteem and thinking that cruelty is love, and then you go do it. That is the pride. Now I'm telling you about what happens in the physical realm. In the spiritual realm, a demon jumped from your mother to you. Do you understand? And of course, I can break these down in the Bible if you need me to. All right? That's how they go. You traumatize him, he traumatizes him, he traumatizes him. The demon jumps from person to person with each trauma. Simple enough to understand, right? If you didn't understand it, you're looking at Will Smith's situation. Will Smith is getting abused by his wife, and he goes and he abuses Chris Rock. And now Chris Rock can be somewhere feeling like, I'm not a man. Will Smith was feeling like, I'm not a man. Now Chris Rock can feel like, I'm not a man. You know what he's going to want to do eventually? Who can guess? He's going to want to smack somebody to prove he's a man. He'll have to do something to get his manhood back. Will Smith wanted to take his demon and give it to Chris Rock. And that's what happens in families, and demons stay in families because children are in families and big adults can hurt little children. And there's no repercussion for the big adult. And so it's easy for the demon to go from the adult to the child. Does everyone understand? All right, so you go ahead. Diabetes and high blood pressure, that's genetics. That's actual genetics, like your skin color or your eyes or your nose or your height. That's real genetics. But behavior, that type of behavior comes from trauma. Do you understand?
Go
ahead.
So on the same topic of disciplining the child, can I get a breakdown on the scripture to get the proper spirit behind it and the action behind it?
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Proverbs chapter 13, verse 24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes.
Times, like many times, a lot, right? He that spareth the rod spoileth the child, meaning you have to correct your child. Right. If you don't correct your child, then you don't love your child, because part of a father's job is correcting his child. That correction absolutely can be physical correction. There's a time and a method to perfectly physically correcting a child. It's something that you can do if you're not a lunatic. A lunatic cannot do it, because a lunatic will hold the child's head under the dishwater until the child can't breathe, and then let him up. A lunatic will tie the child to the bed, leave the child in there all night and beat the child and starve the child, or lock the child in the closet and then say, this is correction. A lunatic can't do anything. A lunatic can't get a job, can't hold down a job without fighting into Popeyes, without conflict everywhere they go, and without abusing their child. You get the point? And so physical correction is part of a child. It's part of being a father. Guess what else is part of being a father? Verbal correction. Right. You use your words and you verbally correct your child. A lunatic can't verbally correct their child, because they're going to say, I hate you, I hate your face, you look like your daddy. You look like your mother, I wish I'd never had you. I wish I'd have had that abortion. I was trying to get that abortion and I wish I would have had it. A lunatic can't even use their words without scarring the child to death. Right. But then there is a parent that can correct that child. The child will know that the behavior is evil, but the child is good. The behavior is wrong, but the child has potential to be right. And that's what sane people can do, right? But if you're insane, how in the hell are you going to raise a child? You're going to think that this is a punishment, and it's child abuse. Right. So many of you don't want child services in your life. You should thank the Lord for child services. Because if child services wasn't in your life, the UPK would be in your life. And child services is far kinder than Commander General Yohanna would be to child abusers. They're kind. If you get your child taken back from child services, you can get your child back one day. If the UPK takes your child, you're never getting your child back. Ever. Someone else will raise that child for you because you were on drugs and sold the child to your boyfriend. A lot of you mothers are just terrible with these boyfriends you have. You leave some husband because he had another wife. And the new man is a drug addict and a child molester. And you bring him into the house with this kid and let whoever you are having sex with babysit the children. Whoever you're having sex with at the time. Then being a husband is like an automatic babysitting job. That comes with the being a husband. And that broad doesn't care who you are. Do this. Why don't you go and run his name through the child molestation registry? That's a small step, right? If you're going to bring him in the house and move him in with the kids, go on your computer and run his name through the child predator registry. Right. If he's on there, then now maybe you can avoid passing this demon to your child. Right? So yes, physical correction is part of being a parent. Child abuse is not physical correction. Right. You understand? I pray. Mm-hmm.
We're around people that are in the world and they have demons on them. How can we stop and fight the demons from jumping into us?
If you're around people in the world, around them like in the home or walking down the street or how?
In the home, walking down the street, getting ready, they go, and they have demons on them, and you're like dealing with them, or you might interact with them. How can you prevent their demon from jumping in to you?
Okay, let me give you a few things you can do, right? First, you can limit the amount you're around them. That's just a very simple fix, right? If you can just not be around them a lot. The less you're around them, the less opportunity they will have to vex you, to bother you, to trouble you, and to put their demon on you, right? So you want to first think of ways to not be around them, to limit the amount of time. Sometimes it's difficult. If you live with someone in the world and you don't have any choice, if you do live with someone in the world, be fighting to not live with them. Like start making your moves. Start doing what you have to do to get away from them, because the more you're around them, the more susceptible you will be to their demon. You understand? And so now that's step one. Now let's say you've done all of that and now you're just around them the bare minimum, but when you're around them, you still feel the pull. And let me explain what the pull is. The pull, let's say someone, is saying something to you and it's wrong and it's evil, right? The pull is to do the same thing to them. You get the point. That's the demon. The demon now, you want to be like them. They're hurting you, so now a voice in your head will tell you to become them. And the demon will almost say to become them so you can battle them. But here's the problem. You're going to stay like them even after they're gone. You understand? You're not going to switch back. The minute you do this, then you are like them. And then when you leave their house or you're not around them, you're going to still have their demon. So what you want to do is remember this. Having their demon is doing what they do. Just think like that. Having their demon is not thoughts in your head, because you can think terrible things and still never do them, right? And you're not punished for what you think. You're punished for what you do. You just want to think, I'm fine with it. I'm never going to be like them. Come on.
So basically doing the opposite of what they do.
That's it. You're going to do the opposite. So the behavior that you don't like in them, don't do it, because you don't like their behavior, right? You think they're a bad person. So then don't behave like them. And you should watch them and see, look how they talk. Look how they behave. Look how they treat people. I'm never doing that. So when they come at you, you're looking at them and you're like, I'm not doing that because I can't stand you. So I'm never going to behave like you. I'm going to make sure that I do the opposite of what you do, and that's how you can make sure that their demon is not in you. Come on.
Couldn't they put a lot of pressure on you to the point where they just like really out of control with their demon? How did you fight that from giving in to their demons and their demons jumping into you.
Okay, well, now you're talking about one of my specialties. Now you're talking about discipline, self-control. Right? And that's where you're going to need that. Right? And they are going to apply that kind of pressure. Right? They're going to do things so that you can stop being the way you have decided to be in the name of Yahweh Yahushua. And when it comes to that, now you're in a battle with whether or not I will maintain who I am or become like them. And without discipline, you lose that battle. You're going to have to decide. You're going to have to decide not to do a thing, not to say a thing, and then keep your decision. And there is no magic in doing that. That's willpower. And if you don't have it, you're going to lose. Everyone understands. All right, next. Someone over here had their hand up. You had your hand up, Bob? Salaki. Anything online? My apologies. Online?
Comic-Con, sir. Just had a question. It says, Shalom, sir. Last week you mentioned women that call men insecure if they have male friends. Can you explain why it's not insecure?
Say that one more time.
It says, Shalom, sir. Last week you mentioned women that call men insecure.
Women that call men insecure. Go ahead.
Comic-Con.
Go ahead.
Comic-Con. If you mentioned women that call men insecure, they have male friends.
Women that call men insecure if they have male friends? I don't understand. Danielle?
I think she's referring to when you said women call men insecure.
Okay, meaning, I got you now. The woman, okay, your woman has a male friend, and then when you tell her don't have any male friends, she says, oh, you're just being insecure. Is that right?
Comic-Con.
Okay, I got it. Now go ahead.
Comic-Con, they want a further explanation on this.
Okay, Alex, she's saying, why is it not insecure? Is that what she's saying?
Comic-Con.
The reason it's not insecure is because the male friend wants to have sex with you.
Right.
It's not make-believe, right? Alexa, what does insecurity mean?
Insecurity is usually defined as lack of confidence or assurance, self-doubt. For more,
That's it. It's not self-doubt. It's not like, oh, but my woman might be a hoe. I mean, she might cheat on me and I just can't let it happen. That's not that. The man wants to have sex with you. That's it. Women, this is what you don't know about yourself, and I'm just telling you because I love you. You know, I always give such sweet love from this podium. Right? Okay. You are dumb. And that it is a treasure to know that. You're dumb. You think that your male friend really likes your personality. Like you in your mind, what do you think he likes about you? You think he thinks you're funny, don't you? He just Cynthia, you tickle me. You are just so funny. Boy, talk about your supervisor again. Cynthia. Man, you think you're not a comedian. Like, because you're dumb, you don't know that men are lying and they're pretending to be your friend. Let me tell you, some of these cats out here are like players who will sit on a bench waiting to get in the game. You understand me? These cats will be your friends 10 years. Oh, please. They'll lay like somebody on the bench that says, one day I'm getting in the game. And they're going to be with you through relationship after relationship while you break up and make up with 3 men. And there they are locked away in that friend zone, waiting for the day that they can have sex with you. And they are doing it. And men know it because men do it. You understand? Men have done this. Has anyone ever done this? Acting like you're a woman's friend so you can have sex with her eventually? Raise your hand. See? That's them. Everybody is doing it. They sitting there laughing with them, talking, especially on their job. My gosh, that job. Oh, listen to this carefully. Men do not want to be friends with women. That is just true because you can't relate to each other. Here's the main problem that you can't be friends with women because men want to talk about women. You understand? Like two men that are friends are talking about getting women. That's a male friendship. A male friendship is where they at? Have you seen them? I saw some over here. Where you see yours? Let's go there. A male friendship is built on getting women. It's damn near foundational in the brotherhood. Like it's like part of it. If I'm lying, please tell me. I'm older than you. Maybe y'all brothers got friendship locked in together with the history and scriptures. So what I remember is, where they at? Have you seen them? Jesus. That's how me and Jeremiah met. Me and Jeremiah was in college. And we were around some old, real nerdy brother. I'm sure he's a lovely man. He's wonderful, I'm sure, somewhere there. But he just did not want to chase tail. And we sitting with him, and we both was, I didn't know who Mayak was. We had a mutual friend. And I'm sitting next to Mayak thinking, this cat is probably just like this old weirdo. Mayak looking at me like, he probably just like this old weirdo. All of a sudden, Mayak looked up and said, you want to go over to the girls' dorm? I said, hell yeah. Listen, we left our friend, left him. He went to go to the bathroom, and we just left. And we ran because we didn't want him to catch up with us. Because we was chasing tail. Now, once again, I'm older. You brothers, I'm sure, are far more spiritual than myself and General Maya. Go ahead.
We be having minor council, sir.
I would imagine. I would imagine it's the same way. Okay, now, so imagine you got a woman friend. What the hell are you doing with her? You can't chase tail with her.
Right.
She's tail.
Right.
Sister, listen, you don't know I'm sure you're a lovely person, and a lot of sisters aren't thinking about that, but sisters do crave attention. And because sisters crave attention, they like to have male friends because male friends is a man giving you attention. But it's on a friendship level. It's not insecurity if your husband doesn't want it. Your husband doesn't want to put you in the position that this man will think it's possible that he could have sex with you. Even if he could not in actuality, being his friend makes him think that he can. It's a cue. It's a social cue. Like, if this woman is willing to go to the bar with me and go out with me and talk to me on the phone, the man thinks there's a possibility that one day she will have sex with me. It has nothing to do with whether or not you will actually do it. But the behavior is behavior that says to men, I could have sex with her one day. We already have a lot in common. We already talk on the phone all the time. We already go out to the restaurant. He's thinking, if I bide my time, and some men are scared of women. And because they're scared of women, they won't just approach you like a brother in the UPK will. If they're in the world, they're scared of women, so they don't want to approach you because they're afraid of rejection. So this is a way to have sex with a woman without getting rejected. You just become her friend and show patience, and then one day she drinks too much. Well, one day you're just a reliable ear to listen to how wrong this man is. I'm so tired of him, Tony. I can't believe him. You know, why can't he be more like you, Tony? You listen. You always listen to me. Tony like, well, I do listen. It's true. Maybe we should, maybe come over there. I can listen, right? Put my ear right to your mouth. I gotta go. Do whatever the hell you want. If you want male friends, go ahead and have them. I don't have time for this. I've been cutting fringes for 3 hours. Listen, I can't do this. I'm coming out of fringe cutting hell. All the fringes I gotta cut. So please, be friends with whoever the hell you want to be friends with. Next.
That was it for the question.
Solid. Anything in the room? Sorry.
We're holding a video that Captain.
Oh yeah, Captain I.S.U.P.K wanted me to go into something as well, right?
Come.
What is this? Can you pull it up whenever you're ready, Hammer?
Come.
What was I going here for? I got a new phone, you die, and this thing erased all of my notes in my Bible. This is insane.
Nice.
I can't even believe it.
Nice.
Oh,
Video is
God.
good. What do you got? Oh, sorry. Share.
No, you're good.
All right, Spat.
Pause for a second. Captain Iraq told me that this is some Benjamin rapper and he's dead. And so they embalmed him and stood him up in the nightclub to give him one last party, I guess. Like, I think this is his funeral or something like that.
Come.
And I think this is getting fairly popular because this is like the third time I've seen this where they might sit a cat up in a chair or something like that and make him look like he's still at the strip club. And somehow make us he can give those dollars or something, but play a little bit more of it, or from the beginning or whatever, just to show him the cat's dead. That's him right there. Can they see the guy? Show this on the screen. Or sometimes they can see the TV.
Come.
Sorry, go on.
Come.
Go ahead. All right, that's enough. Okay, now. Okay, well, now you're fucking with me just to explain it, okay? It seems very crazy, but if you just think about the evolution of what they're doing, it's obviously where this field would go, right? In the mortuary field, people give people, the people in the mortuary field are going to give you what you want, like in every other field. Like in the car industry or the music industry or the potato chip industry or whatever industry there is, people who want to make money will give people what they want. And of course, a long time ago, there was a place called Egypt. Who remembers that place, right? Where the Egyptians would take this dead body and dress it up like he was, going to sit on the throne and rule from the sarcophagus. They would put his cats in there. Some cultures would kill the slaves and send the slaves to the great Valhalla with him so he could have servants. And they would kill servants and put them in a boat and then set the boat on fire or kill his guards. In China, they would do that, where they would kill the emperor's guards so that they could guard him in the afterlife. And forget about the Egyptians with all that gold and all that wealth. He needed that gold and that wealth to spend the money in the afterlife. And the Egyptians had a culture of pretending that this person was going to get up from the grave and start ruling. So he needed servants and money and his cat. You get my point? Now what did that become? That became the common Christian burial. What do Christians wear when they get buried? A suit and tie. Why? So they can get up and go to church. So they can get straight up from that grave and get right into the choir and go to church. Now, then, of course, over time, people start to want to see a person as he lived, because that's the common culture from thousands of years ago, to treat death as if this body is going to get up and start doing whatever it was doing in the previous life. And so now, obviously, these morticians, have found another way to make good money. I can imagine how much it costs to do this. A regular funeral where you put him in a coffin and put him in the ground is $10,000 to $15,000. To sit him up in the nightclub and let hoes dance on him, I can only imagine that's probably $50,000. Look at it. Look up how much it costs to get your loved one dressed up like he's going to the nightclub, and to put him in the nightclub and sit him in the chair. And look at it. I'm sure you can find that online by now. That's probably $100,000. And of course, that field just does it because people want it. People want to see their loved one the way he was when he was alive. And this cat, of course, was in the club, or you might have a cousin that loved buying whores and prostitutes and strip clubs. So they dress him up like he's out at a strip club because that's the kind of person he was. Everyone understands. And it's just people trying to get through grief, man. Grief is a terrible thing, and people try to get through it the best way they know how. And it makes the mother feel good to see her son like he was. See him like he was, and he loved going to the club. He loved going to the strip club. So let's have a funeral where he's in the strip club. Darn y'all.
They say that funeral costs $40,000 a head in a nightclub like that.
That's what I thought. $40,000. You know, and it's just a mortician trying to make money in this field. And grief is terrible. And you can take advantage of a lot of people when they're in a time of grief. You can take advantage of them. You don't want to see your son in a coffin. You want to see him the way he was happy. He was happy in the strip club. And the friends want to see him in the strip club because they are grieving him. And so morticians have used this grief in another way to make money, and that's all this is. The practice is not new, though. The practice is Egyptian. In the Israelite world, when I say the Israelite world, I mean in our nation, in our culture, we wrap our dead in what? Linen. Linen. That's where the whole mummy concept comes from. Most of you have heard of mummies, correct, in your life, right? Because the Israelites wrapped their dead in just cloth, in linen cloth. And then, of course, when we were in Egypt, serving under the Egyptians, that began to be how they would find our bodies in Egypt, wrapped up like mummies, because that's our culture. How do you know it's our culture? Lazarus in the Bible, he was wrapped in the cloth. And Christ, when Christ died, he was wrapped in linen. All right, because it's our culture. Why? Because when our people died, we're not trying to save the body, because we know the soul never dies. That body is temporary. Let that body go to the dust. From dust he came, and from dust he shall return. We're not trying to dress the body up like it's going to get up and go to church, or get up and go to the nightclub, or get up and go to the strip club. That body is going to the worms. It's worm food now. Let the worms have it. That soul will receive a new body. Precepts. They're all over the place, all right? They're in Genesis. They're in the Apocrypha. It's with Lazarus. It's when Christ died before he rose from the dead. It's our culture. This is not Israelite culture to even put a suit and a tie on you. Israelite culture is to wrap you in cloth so that the body can decay, go away, and that soul can receive its new body. Come on.
So if someone in the truth died, how can we ensure that that's how we would bury it?
Well, if you put someone in the truth in charge of your burial, then that's how it will happen. Right? When the UPK is in charge of a burial, that's how we do it. General Hazayanas, who commanded GEN.YAHANNA, put over our burial department, and that's how we do it. We wrap the body in the linen, anoint the body with oil, say the prayers, and put him in the ground, knowing that we shall receive our brother again. The dead rise in Israel. So we don't need to dress up the body like he's going to a party, because the dead rise again. That man is coming back. That sister is coming back, and this new body will be far better than the one that abandoned him the last time. You understand, young brother Ray?
Okay. How about
Cremation. Cremation is not Israelite custom. Cremation is the custom of the Greeks. All right, so it's not what we would consider an honorable death to give to an honorable person. Most time, brothers and sisters do it because it's the cheapest form of burial. It's about $3,000, $3,000 to $5,000. So if you're struggling with money, and if they're in the world, then cremation is fine. It's not what we would do in the truth. The few times an officer has died, which has been rare. Death is so rare in the UPK, it almost never happens. But the few times it happens, we perform an honorable burial. Sis.
She did that with our cat.
What she do?
Cremated.
Yeah, cremated, whatever. It's fine. It's not a sin. It's just not our culture. All right, come on.
What about the embalming process and all types of
None of that is a sin. There's no law against doing any of that. All right. But it's just not. Israelite culture is about letting the body go away. That's it. Just letting it go to the dust. And that's all we care about. And we're not worried about, making sure he can stand up later on and go about his business, which is what Egyptian culture is and Christian culture is. It's about putting the body up in a way so he can stand up. You put a little something in his pocket. You put a little bag of weed in his pocket usually. You go tuck a little bag of weed down in his pocket so he can stand up and have some good weed to smoke when he gets up. That's not our culture to do that. Let the body go away. The brother is getting a new body. Death is temporary in the UPK, man. All the dead come back. All of us. All of us come back. And if Commander General Yahanna has his way, it doesn't even matter because none of you are going to die anyway. So who cares what happens after you die? Because you're not dying anyway. Let your enemies worry about what will happen when they die. Let our enemies worry about how to be buried in the burial process. Let them worry about that. They're the ones that need to be concerned with that. Anything else? Please, y'all see me one more time. We on? Go ahead.
Brother said, can I get your favorite World War III scripture breakdown of it?
Okay. Well, my breakdown is the same as every other officers in the UPK. It's what I was taught from General Yahanna, Commander General Yahanna. I just taught it to you. I would go with that, the four horsemen. I'd go with Ezekiel. I'd go with Gog and Magog. Oh, I had a perfect one all saved in this phone, man. It was where it was about destruction on Moab. Let me get that one for you. Okay. Moab. It was about the Most High. I think it was in Ezekiel. Give me the precept I can wear. This new phone is jamming me up. I had this saved, all right, but I need to get this back together again. I believe it's where the Lord said destruction on Moab. Anyway, this is the new one that I've been reading, that I would add to it recently with the events that are happening right now in the Ukraine, all right? Go ahead, up.
Jeremiah chapter 48, verse 42. Mm-hmm. And Moab shall be destroyed from being a people.
I'm sorry, where you at again?
Jeremiah chapter 48, verse 42.
Bear with me to make sure this is the one I'm thinking about, right? Jeremiah 48 and 42. Mm-hmm. I appreciate it. Come on. This could be it. Is a God here as well? Okay. I can't be sure this is it. Well, there's an excellent one where Gog and Magog are also in it. This could be it. I don't know. Found me one with Gog in there as well. So Gog is in the precept as well. I remember that much. So for the brother's question, I will go to that. I will go to Ezekiel speaking about a Gog and Magog. I will go to the burning of flesh. The eyes burn out your skull and the tongue burns out your mouth. I will go to 1/3 shall be delivered of my people. I will go there. And then I will go to how you can survive the Third World War. What I would recommend it with any breakdown, just like Commander General Yahanna told me, give them the negative first and then give them the positive, which is what the brothers who used to be above him would say. Give them the negative first. So I just try to build every breakdown that I receive like that. I take all the scriptures talking about the death and the destruction and the evil and the terror, and I put them at the beginning. And then I switch it to how they can survive, how they don't have to die, how they can live forever, how they can conquer this coming death and not die, and I give that at the end. All right, that's my recommendation on how I would do it. All right, those are the precepts I would use. And so now at the end of it, you can give all the precepts where Christ talked about how you can live and not die, how you can survive it, and that's that. All right. Where we at now? Anything else?
That was it, all.
I'm fine, Warrior. I appreciate it.
Go ahead. So with this trial that I believe NATO is trying to put up against Putin, charging him for war crimes.
Well, they said he should be charged with war crimes. That's different than charging him.
Go ahead. So where could that lead to?
Okay, it could lead to Putin being brought to the Hague to face war crimes. Now, it usually would never be that, right? You don't really get charged with war crimes unless you are deposed, unless your country is invaded and conquered. So really, the only way that they could actually charge Putin with war crimes is if he is, deposed in Russia. They take over Russia, defeat Russia, and now the UN controls Russia, and then they could arrest Putin and bring him to court. George W. Bush was charged with war crimes for the invasion of Iraq. He was also charged with war crimes. But what difference did it make? Because nobody was going to come and arrest him because he's the president of America. So it's really irrelevant. It's more of a gesture than anything that actually has real teeth. Because unless you're going to invade the country, you can't arrest a president. You get my point, right? Now, in this case, however, it could be gigantic. Why? Because this could be what they need to give them justification to invade Russia, right? Because people cannot stand. For those of you that don't know, they found a mass grave with about 300 bodies in it today. Some of their hands tied behind their backs, women killed and raped, children in a big hole in a place where the Russians invaded this area, controlled it for about 3 weeks, and then the Russians left. So when the Ukrainians came back in, they found a giant hole with 300 dead people in it, women and children with their hands tied behind their back. The Russians, of course, are saying that it's fake, they didn't do it. The Ukrainians did it just to blame it on them. And the Ukrainians, of course, are saying that when you control this area, this is what you've done. So now, why could it be big now? It could be big now because we're at the end. And because we're at the end, things like this are the perfect justification to really invading Russia, to really doing it. Because a big problem with war is people being against it. But when you bring up mass graves and killings like that, before you know it, the entire earth says, yes, we should invade Russia. Putin has to pay for this. Everyone gets emotional. Everyone gets self-righteous and indignant about the death, and then they could use this to really take Putin out. It absolutely could matter now. Usually in the times past, it might not have mattered, but now because of the times we're in, brother, this could be a peace that would make the world they would make the world angry enough to actually do something about Russia. And that is what we want. However it happens, whether the Russians are mad at America or the Americans are mad at the Russians, whatever brings about the end of our suffering and the fall of them is the rise of us. That's in the Bible. Give me Daniel 2 and 4. I would also put this towards the end of my Third World War breakdown. Is it 2 and 4 or 2 and 44? Where it says, and I beheld, what might be better? No, you're right. Daniel's 2 and when the thrones were cast down and the Lord did sit. Give me the thrones were cast down. What's that? Daniel's 2. I beheld while the thrones were cast down. Go ahead.
Daniel 7.
Daniel 7. Give me that. And the other one I believe, is in Daniel 2 and 44. So give me Daniel's 2 and 7 first.
Come. Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down.
Read 7.
Verse 7. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast.
Daniel's 8.
Verse 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up
Daniel 9.
Verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down.
Tell the thrones were what?
Were cast
Were
down.
what?
Cast down.
This is the prophet Daniel or GEN.YAHANNA having a vision. And in this vision, he's seeing thrones. You know what a throne is. A throne is a chair. The king sitting. He's watching thrones be thrown down to the ground. Imagine a throne sitting up tall on a mountain peak, representing rulership. And then all of a sudden, someone picks up this throne and crashes it down to the ground. Right? Why? What does that mean in the vision? In the vision, that this throne, this power, this king, this ruler, who at one time was at the top of rulership, is going to be thrown down to the ground. That's the time we're living in right now. We're living in that time where you're going to see people like Putin fall, people like Biden fall, people like Queen Elizabeth fall. They're going to come crashing down. They're going to be thrown down. Keep going.
Come. And the Ancient of Days did sit.
Did what?
Did sit.
Did what?
Did sit.
That's what's important to remember about the Third World War. This throne is cast down. The word cast is like casting a fishing line. The word cast means to throw. This throne is cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit on his throne. That's why it's saying he's sitting. They're going to lose their power, and our God will be the only power. There will be no Barakatayawawayawashai. There will be no other power. Right now, the world is in so much conflict because you got a power in Russia, a power in England, a power in the Ukraine, a power every damn where. And of course, multiple powers fight each other. It's just human nature. They fight one another. But when they all come down, there will be one power, and then there will be peace on earth. There will be no more war, no more fighting, no more conflict, no more child abuse. No more demons going from person to person. No more harming each other. That's when peace reigns on this earth. The reason that this world is so cruel is because there is not a righteous God sitting in the position of power of every country. But that day is coming, and it's coming fast. Give me Daniel 2:44. Please. Needs a microphone, brother.
I have a question.
I'm sorry, question?
Come. Psalms, the second chapter, the precept.
Let me hear it.
Ezekiel.
Please.
Psalms 2:1. Why do the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder, and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision.
You want to use that as a precept for the nations fighting the Most High? Yes, that's a precept for that. Correct. All right, go ahead.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom.
And read one verse above it.
Verse 43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with merry clay, they shall mingle themselves.
Skip one more. Skip down.
Verse 42. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes.
One more. Skip down to the main verse for time's sake. Go ahead. In the days of these kings.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom.
In the days of what?
These kings.
In the days of what?
These kings.
So now we already read about how what's going to happen is the kings sitting on the thrones are going to be thrown down to the ground. The Most High is going to be the only throne left. But in the days of these kings, now I'm not talking about when the thrones are cast down. This is before they're cast down. This is when they're still up there. In the days of these kings, go ahead.
The God of heaven set up a kingdom.
Shall set up a kingdom. The God of heaven will set up a kingdom in the days of these kings. While other kings are ruling in Russia and in the Ukraine and in America and in Great Britain and in France, the Most High establishes a new kingdom while other kings are on the throne. That is what you're seeing happening in these rooms all across the country and all across the world in the Israelite school of UPK under Commanding General Yohanna. We're building a new kingdom while the old kingdoms are still here. While they still have their police and their FBI and their Congress and their Mounties in Canada and the British police and the British military in Great Britain, while they're still in charge, the Most High God is establishing his kingdom, his rulership. Continue.
Which shall never be destroyed.
Except this kingdom will never be destroyed. Their kingdoms are going to be destroyed. Russia is going to be destroyed. Gone. America destroyed. France, Great Britain destroyed. China, Japan, the Muslim powers destroyed. And we're going to start while they're still existing. We're going to begin in small rooms all over the country. Begin on the internet. Begin on the TV. Begin everywhere. Shout out to Captain Tazariot, man, that destroyed his Muslim. On the internet the other day. It was a terrible, terrible beatdown. It was a terrible beatdown. It was, it was pitiful and sad for that poor Muslim brother. It was pitiful and sad that he even dared show up.
Right.
And that's what's going to happen. And we begin it now. We start it now. Because we know what? That one day, those thrones are going to come crashing down by the hand of God. And then in that day, our God will be the only God in power. Right. With that, pass the class over to the officer.
It's the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, New York, under Commanding General Yohanna. Rule for new brother and sister. When new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother and sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother and sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is committed. You read about this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. Also the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. My ISRAELITES needs 10% in Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord give you. Get to the treasury department, priest farm, free will offering for the priest, not mandatory. Whatever small amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation will be Passover, which is next Thursday. But if y'all ain't make the arrangements, make sure y'all kept getting in touch with your camp leaders. In the minute Israel, we're gonna get a brothers a courteous salute. Minute Israel, I imagine what's need to stand. Minute Israel, we're gonna get a brothers a courteous salute. Minute Israel, Ahmad Shabbat, I imagine, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, Yahshua Tom, with your hands down, sorry, which we turn, face the sisters, sister Imagine, which needs to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to get a sister courteous salute. Men of Israel, Ahmad Shabbat, Ahmad Barak, Yahshua, class dismissed.